my name is Donna Hutchinson and I'm the owner of On the Edge Fitness Educators, and I'd like to welcome you back to Module 2 Part 2, where we're actually going to talk about formalizing your business. And you know, up to this point, especially if you've gone through Module 1 of Getting Started and even did Section 1, Part 1 of this series, which was formalizing your business, you might find that some of this material is getting to be a little dry and boring. And I'll tell you what, it does get a lot more exciting later on when we cover different chapters in the book, like the marketing chapter and how to really connect with people. But the reality is getting your business started and setting up your business, this is what it takes. So I want to encourage you to just keep going through the process. Watch the videos a couple of times. The steps won't take you very long, and at the end I'll reference some checklists that you'll be able to use to make this whole process a lot easier for you. But today I want to talk to you about formalizing your business structure. There are actually 8 key areas that you'll need to go through, and I'm going to highlight 4 of the top essential ones with you that I think are most important and that I want to share some tips with you on. Now, the first one is a business license. I get asked a lot if I need a business license as a personal trainer. And you know what? The answer is really going to depend on where you're doing your business. For example, if you're setting up a home studio, you're going to need to have a business license. You need to check with your municipality or your state to see if that's a real requirement, but in most cases it's going to be necessary. So you're going to want to definitely check to make sure to see if you do need a business license. The second one is to set up a business bank account. Now, I know some of you just think that you can have your own personal bank account and mix your finances with your business and that's going to be just fine. And I'll tell you what, it isn't going to be just fine. Because at the end, when you're trying to do your taxes and separate out your personal account from your business account, it's going to be a mess. So you've taken all the steps to get this business started legitimately. This next step is super important. Go to the bank and open up a business bank account. I usually recommend you open up a checking account as well as a savings account. And while you're there, see if you qualify for a business credit card and if the bank will extend a line of credit. Now, in my book, I do talk about why that's important in more detail. So it would be a good idea to pick that up and you can see and hear and just understand why that's important. But in the meantime, go to the bank and set up a checking account as well as a savings account and do it in your business name. Start the process properly. The other question I get asked a lot is, do I need a permit to take groups of people, if I'm running a boot camp, out into local parks? Yes, you do need a permit. Now, you're going to want to definitely check with the different municipalities and also states to see for sure, but in most cases, you are going to need a permit. And the reason being is because you're using not your property, but governmental property. And obviously there is a liability issue to that. So it's a good idea to call, let them know what you're doing in terms of your boot camps and the groups that you're taking and the areas that you're taking them to, and see if you need a permit. Otherwise, this could happen to you. You've got your group of 20 boot campers all exercising. You're halfway through the program and all of a sudden a bylaws officer shows up and he asks you for your permit and you don't have one. Guess what? Not only will you receive a fine, but you'll also be asked to leave the property immediately. And how would that look as a business professional? Not very professional. It is going to cost you a little bit to have a permit, but it's the cost of doing business. So I would encourage you to make sure to check in to see if you're going to need to have a permit. Now, the last little bit that I need to talk to you about here is insurance. The last key thing that you need to be concerned about is personal training insurance. You need to have insurance. You need to have insurance not only professionally, but also general insurance. General insurance covers you, for example, if you have a studio in your own home, for the equipment that your client is going to be using in your home. If you go to work at a fitness facility as an independent contractor, the business will have general liability insurance and you won't need that. But regardless of where you train, whether it's at home or in somebody else's studio or fitness club, you are absolutely going to need professional liability insurance. Professional liability insurance is all about the advice that you give to a client. So general liability is about the facility and if something should happen with equipment or they slip on the floor, but the other liability insurance in terms of professional is the advice that you're giving to people. It is not wise to have no insurance, because if you have absolutely no insurance and you're a sole proprietor, remember, if you're sued, it's your house, it's your car, it's your assets, and I don't want that to happen to you. For the small investment insurance cost you as a business, just having that safety blanket, ensuring that you're going to be okay if something should happen. So those are the 4 key areas for your business. Setting up that bank account, looking at getting a business license, seeing if you need a permit to train people in a park, and making sure that you have the proper insurance coverage. Again, for more details and further explanation of all of these areas, plus the additional 4 that I'm sorry I don't have time to cover, please do have a look at the book, The How-To Guide to Starting Your Own Personal Training Business, that you can find at edgefit.ca.